Don't feel nobody, I'm rocking, feel God. Can't rob a two cause I ain't feeling God. I made a bet Jesus could be the odds. He can shine through me cause I'm the son of God.
So I see you tapped into a lot of different spaces, from MC work to giving back to the youth. You recently did a back to school giveaway, right?
Right.
You did a lot of these different things. So with everything that you're doing, where you're pushing, and I see how you're pushing your vision out.
Mm-hmm.
Right now at this point in time, being present, where is your heart resting right now? I like to ask that question.
Right now, I think it's with community, for sure.
Really?
For sure. Like, my goal, my dream, my vision, the ultimate plan is to really open up a center for the community, to have a community center, like VBOSS Community Center, where people can go and just be great.
So when you say community center, is it like a YMCA? Is it something more beyond what those provide and do?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of programs and, things in place for education, for families, but there's not really anything out there for creatives. Like, you get it? Like, especially me, I'm Haitian, grew up in a Haitian household. You
I'm
already
Haitian too.
know.
I don't know if you see me speak Creole earlier. So,
So, it's the typical doctor, lawyer, nurse, So I feel like even if you're really good at creating shoelaces, there's not really an outlet for you. So that's what I want my community center to be. So I have VBOSS and Company, which is, my hosting and events and stuff like that. But there's another aspect to it, which is the foundation part. And it's really bridging the gap between dreams and reality. So whatever your dream is, I want my center to be a hub to make that a reality.
So coming from a Haitian background, or we know where your family was from, a third world country, what made you decide to break from the norms and want to pursue these things and even create a space to help people pursue their own thing?
Right. Honestly, I think it's God. I think that's the honest truth. Like, growing up Christian in the Haitian church, I just felt like my perspective of being a Christian was that you cannot be a Christian and prosper. Like, there's no way.
Really?
Like, there's no way. Like, going to my Haitian church, like I never believed that you can be Christian and rich. Like,
you never believe that? Wait, hold on.
Never
What?
No.
But the Bible says you can be prosperous, you can have wealth, there's a house for you in heaven and all that type of stuff.
I don't know. I just feel like growing up in the Haitian Christian church, like the Baptist church, let me say that, like, it was just, I didn't see no hope around me, basically.
Was it because the people didn't, not that you couldn't relate to them, but you didn't see them executing or moving forward within their dream?
Yeah, I didn't. Yes, I seen a lot of stagnation. I seen a lot of people settling. Everybody just living mundane life, like just regular, like nobody going after their dreams. And then I come from a musical family, so my grandpa had a band. Like, we're a family full of musicians. Like, I used to do music, and things like that. And even when I brought up music, like to my family and things like that, they will beg me, like, no, go.
Really?
Yeah,
But
no, like, go do something else. Like, and I just feel like they didn't have like that, like the faith. Like, they didn't have the faith that, whatever it is that you're good at, you can prosper in it. And I just knew that I always wanted more. And when I got serious with my walk with Christ, I feel like he just opened my eyes. Like, I feel like he opened my eyes, and I was like, wow, like, oh my gosh, there's so much more out there. Like, this is crazy. Like, so I feel like that's when it all began.
So I want to back things up. So
Yeah.
You mentioned when you started getting serious with your walk with Christ. So before then, walk us through that journey, and you opening your eyes and you realizing, all right, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. I'm gonna take these things serious. Like, walk us through that journey.
So I feel like, growing up in the church, my experience was just routine. You know, like I knew there was a God, you know, I knew we would pray to God, you know, and stuff like that. But because I wasn't doing the norm, which was clubbing, having sex, smoking, drinking, and all that stuff, I thought, okay, I'm good. Like, you know, I'm going to make it to heaven. Like, you know, that's it. Like there's no more to God. Like God is literally at the church and that's it. Like you don't like the relationship. Like, yeah, there's a relationship, but there's no like, okay, God really could speak to you. You know, you get it? Like, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So I feel like when I was graduated high school, I was just like, man, God, like, come on. Like, I know there's more to life. Like, I always knew there was more to life. So, like, you got to show me some things. Like, I don't know. Like, I just knew I wanted to break the cycle. Like,
That's
it just
honest.
felt like...
You was honest with God.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, it has to be more. Like, you know, like, even... around me, like we would be in church, like they would pray, and I'm like, do y'all believe? Like, you know, it was just certain things. Like,
you said that?
Yes, it was just
no,
certain
it's real.
Things.
I'm not down
things.
you for
And
that.
then, you know, I would do stuff on purpose just to see, like, okay, let me see how you guys are gonna act. Like before I got baptized, I wore pants on purpose. I was like, let me see if they're gonna baptize me with my pants on. You know, like just, you know, I didn't want to be a rebel, but I wanted to, like, I'm like, God, come on, I need more.
People,
like, I need more. And then, you know, little by little, God was like, okay, I'm going to show you more. So I feel like, honestly, like when I got serious, and I feel like God knows when you're serious, right? So it's not like I was a Bible thumper and I was in my word every single day, you know, all that stuff. But I postured my heart like, God, I need you to show me. Let's go. And he did. So here I am. Like, I never understood purpose. Like, for a long time, I think I struggled with, what is my purpose? Like, what am I supposed to do here? Like, what is it? And it's like, okay, what are you good at? What do you like to do? Like, I used to think that doing stuff that you like to do was not it. Like,
really?
Like, yes.
You used to think that was not your purpose?
No, I'm like, this is not my purpose. I can't make it. Like, I cannot make it, like, being like this. Like, I have to go this route. I have to do this. Like,
what made you think you couldn't do that, and what was that other route that you chose, or you thought that was the better route?
So I think, honestly, like I said before, just it was no motivation around me. Like, I didn't see anybody stepping out on faith, doing what they had to do, you know, and all that stuff. Like, I just felt like it wasn't possible. And I think it's just lack of self-confidence, you know, lack of faith, all that stuff. And then I went to school. I got my degree. I got a bachelor's in criminal justice administration because I was like, you know what, whatever. I have to do the corporate route. Like, I have to do it. That's the only way I'm going to make it. Like, and then I got my master's in education leadership. Like, so I'm like, oh my gosh,
so
I have to.
You went deep. You
so
went
I'm
deep.
like, I have to
notice. That's
go
crazy.
the corporate route. But, you know, God was like, girl, stop it. He was like, girl, stop it. So it's like, man, COVID. I think COVID.
That's what I started.
Before COVID, there was always a shift. There was like a shift, like, you know.
What do you mean? What do you mean by a shift?
Like a shift in mindset. Like, it was a mindset shift. Like, okay, all right, God. I told God, I was like, look, if you want, I'm not right. If I'm gonna serve you, if I'm gonna do this thing, like, I want it all. Like, I want it all. I don't want half the gospel. I don't want half being a Christian. Like, I want the whole thing. So the abundant life, the, you know, carrying my cross, like, I want every aspect of it.
You know, what you're saying is completely true in facts, because, you know, growing up in church too, even though I wasn't really focused as I should have been growing up, they made it seem as if you was being greedy, or it was wrong to want more. Even being under God, they say, oh, you have to be modest, humble, humility,
facts.
Always live below your means. And granted, that's always a good habit. Live below your means when you're trying to grow in general.
Right.
Live in moderation. But I had somebody else on a podcast come in. It was like, when you're a man of God, woman of God, why shouldn't you want for more and strive for more if you have God behind you?
Like, hello, we have the key to life in our, like, hello, like, shouldn't we be on top? Like, I don't get it. Like,
and that's facts. And they made it seem so like we have to be restricted.
Right.
We have to be so religious. We have to be so confined. And it's like, that's not the case. That's not the case at all. it's like why is that the main reason why you made it your mission to be that example for somebody else?
Yes, because I have sisters. I have a lot of people like looking at me, whether I want them to or not. Like they are, like when you're that one in your family, like they like if she could do it, we're going to do it. And I just feel like I have to do it, even for myself. Like, forget everybody else. Like, I have to do it.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Given that you say that all these people look up to you, I don't know if you want to get vulnerable or anything, but do you find it hard to open up, given that you're the example for so many people?
I think it depends. I think it really depends on the situation.
What do you mean?
You get it? So if it's like, because I know sometimes my little sister would come and she would ask me, like, why are you so successful? Like, what makes you so successful? And I'm
Really?
like, you think this is success? So, it depends. You get it? It depends on, like, and what level are we talking here, girl? Because, hello? So
I'm just getting started.
Yeah, I think it depends. I think it honestly depends. But I feel like me, myself, I'm not really one to, like, I'm the one everybody comes to.
In what way? Like for
life
advice, business
for
advice,
help, for everything, for
just about
everything,
everything.
Like I would be considered like the strong friend. So I'm the one everybody always comes to. So for me, early on, like I never been like the talker. You get it? Or to like really talk about what I'm going through like that. It's just always been like that my whole life. So I always had different outlets like worship and, just, writing and music, So I never been the one to really express myself to other people. So I'm learning, how to a little, you get better. You get better. So I'm learning, but that was never my story.
What do you mean it was never your story? Like wanting to tell your story? You always wanted to show your story?
Yeah, like I don't think I'm not really I don't like to talk about what I'm doing or what I'm gonna do or stuff like that. I just like to do it because it's like,
that's a good habit to have. Yeah. Many people talk too much and
right.
That's the only way their dream happens. So with everything that you have going on, it's like, what is next in terms of your community work? You want to create this center, you want to create this, but what's next right now? You did the giveaways, you did all these things. Where is your heart leading you to teach, to provide? Like, what is your main message that you're trying to put out till you get there?
Don't give up. I think it's don't give up. Like, don't give up with nothing. Like, if you want to do something, do it. And I feel like that's why I have to just do it. Like, I feel like that's the message. Don't give up. Like, don't give up on nothing. Like, anything is possible. So I feel like I'm working towards that. Like, the giveaways and everything, they get better and better every year. And I feel like I have to just, continue to do it in order to get to the level where, we don't even have to advertise as much or, we don't have to put in as much. Like, as soon as we drop something, okay, they already know this is what's going to happen. Like, and I think I still have to network more. Like, I'm open to collaborating more. So, I just feel like I'm in the motion right now.
So you where you are now, what was the hardest hurdle for you to get over to allow you to move with so much momentum, with so much consistency, with so much drive, so much purpose? Like you mentioned, you've seen all this stagnation, you've seen all this thing in the past. Was it just that, or like what was another thing or the main thing that you had to get over?
I think self.
Like self-talk, negative self-talk, or
negative self-talk, self-doubt. Get out your head. Like, it's not that deep. Like, it's deep, but it's not that deep where you can't do what you're supposed to be doing, And I feel like a lot of times we disqualify ourselves, and I feel like I'm hardest on myself because I know what I want for myself. So it's just like, why you didn't do that? Or why didn't you go post that? Or why didn't you go introduce yourself? Like, it's always selling yourself short. So I feel like the mindset that was like the biggest thing, because I feel like with your mind you can do it. Like, if you put your mind to it like that, saying it's true. Like, you put your mind to it, you could do it. You could do whatever you want.
That's facts.
As long as it's legal, But but you can do whatever you want. Like your mind is like it's so powerful. And I'm like, wow, God is crazy, man. Like your mind, like if you think you are a billionaire, you are like if you
the Bible says that you think it's so shall you be.
Wow, it's crazy. It's crazy.
So I like to get into people's mind, like what has been the main thought that you've been thinking on repeat? Like I have one that's been the main thing for me to keep me driving, keep me pushing. What has been that main thing for you that when you think about it, it's like I wanted to jump out the room or something like that?
Consistency.
In what way?
Like be consistent. Like be consistent. Don't be a one-hit wonder. Like, it's true. Do not be a one-hit wonder. Whether it's going to school, content, like at work, like don't be a one-hit wonder. Be consistent. Like be consistent. Like if you're going to show up. Keep showing up. Keep doing it until you get to where you need to be. Consistency. That's my thing. It's like, I got to be consistent.
So what's your process for like consistency and to maintain your mindset and all the things that make you and keep you so driven? Like, what do you do day in and day out? Like, what's your routine? Like, so you can give some gems that they can put into their lives to reshape their minds, reform their beliefs, even go out there and seek new information, or maybe even make that decision to enroll into school or whatever the case may be.
Right. So the first things first, I feel like you have to set up a time where you can think about what you're thinking about. I think that's very important. Like a lot of people don't think about what they're thinking about. So the mornings, like early mornings, like I'm like, don't talk to me. Nobody talks to me. Like I need to think. Like I feel like that's me and God time. So I have to, I have to take inventory of what's in my heart, what's in my mind, like where am I? Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's very important because that way I can put things where they need to be, and then I can hear and I can actually see what it is I'm doing. Because, so we're on goal a lot. Like, I have a full-time job on top of everything else that I have going on for myself. So it's not easy.
It's not.
And if you just, like, go with the flow, like, you can go with the flow, but I feel like if you go with the flow too much, you'll fall into routine.
Wait, say that again. You said if you go with the flow too much, you fall into a routine?
Like you'll fall into a routine. Like, okay, like I'm just going to go with the flow. So, you work Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to be at work from 9 to 5. And then after work, I got to so it's like I'm just going with the flow, but it's like I'm not really doing nothing. Like, I accomplished 1 week of work, but what else did I do?
So you're saying you need to create a routine instead of going with the flow, or what are you trying to say?
So I'm saying you can go with the flow, but you have to have a plan.
Got you. Yeah, because I was talking to my friend, shout out Green. He makes me so mad for this. He always says this thing called flow state.
Right.
And I'm such a structured guy. Like, I want to do things by the book. He calls me, what's the thing? Itinerary. Because that's his nickname for me, because I run by a block schedule by this time, or if we're meeting somebody somewhere, I'm calculating how long it's gonna take me to get there, how long to come back to do it. I'm all that type of stuff. But he's Mr. Flow State. I ask him to do something, he just sits there. It makes me so mad because I want him to move. I want him, like, not like I'm pressuring him, but it's like, yo, this is important. Let's do this. Let's get out the house. We got somewhere to be. He's like, I'm like, I know you say flow state, but we gotta go. Like, I understand. Have that schedule and have a routine, but there is a balance. Like, what he taught me is that there is a balance with going with the flow, because you have a routine, you have these things, but not all the time you're gonna get to the place on time. Right. Not all the time things are gonna take. Not all the time you can finish things in the time you thought it would take to finish it. So once you factor in all these things, like, I learned in doing all this stuff, I would still find myself going down a rabbit hole of trying to finish it before I move on to the next stuff. So I had to learn, go with the flow, don't fall into that rabbit hole, but still set specific times, even if I'm not finished. All right, I move on to the next thing. So I wanted to ask you, what would your routine be necessarily? Like you mentioned, you wake up, think before you think. You don't let nobody talk to you. Is that just it for you to maintain and be so driven? Because you only said that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I feel like I don't know. I never really thought about it, but yeah, like it is. Because I feel like I command my day by commanding my mornings. So if I figure out what's going to happen in the morning, okay, so I can calculate, okay, I'm going to go here, I'm going to do this, so it's probably not everything, but it's very important. Like I need that quiet time to figure out what's going to happen.
So what made you, like you mentioned, you didn't think following your passion, following things you like to do, you would be successful, you would be an entrepreneur. But what made you choose the avenues that you chose? From, of course, your family was a musician, so of course you have that. But you're an MC, you're a host, you're doing content. Like, not a lot of people choose to do content. Even if they choose it, they only do it because everybody else is doing it.
Right.
What made you choose these things?
I feel like I'm a people's person. I've always been a people's person, so why not join the people's business?
But what made you choose that? Like, there's a lot of people's business.
I feel like I love making people happy. Like I love, like when everybody's happy and people are just enjoying themselves and I just step back and look, like that makes me happy. So I don't know. They always make me do it. Like growing up, there's like, okay, you're gonna do this. Like you're gonna host. We need you to speak. Like we need you to speak for us. Go talk for us. Like this, that. So I'm just like,
they
okay.
always made you do that, but yet you said I'm nervous for here.
Yeah, I am. I feel like it's normal to get nervous, but
it is. But that's crazy. You speak everywhere, man.
Right. So I was always talking. I was always the one to not. Even though I get nervous, I was always the one to be like, I don't care, I'm gonna do it. Like, y'all scared? I'm gonna do it. Let's go. Like, So I feel like that, and then COVID happened, and I just felt like so many people was like, oh my gosh, you should host. You should be a host. Like, you should really host events.
Oh, so that's where it started.
Yeah. So people was like, oh, you should host. You should host. And I'm like, no, I don't know. Like, why would I host? Like, why would I do that? Like, why would I do that? Like, what?
Wow.
There's like, no, you need to be a host. You need to.
So what was your first, I'm asking two questions. What was your first event and what was your most memorable time hosting?
My first event was a baby shower. And my most memorable time, I don't know. I feel like all my events are different. So.
Really? Because I find it that we get to a point when we're walking in our vision and doing these things. Sometimes we have those moments where we just sit back and we look and we just say like, yo, I'm here. I'm doing this.
Right. I think probably when I had to host an event in Little Haiti, it was with the commissioner and it was Haitian Flag Day. And I had to host the whole event. And I was like, wait, what? I'm like, I'm on me. So it's like, and I had to speak in Creole and I had to just run the show. And I was like, wait a minute. Me? Like, wow. Like, so I was just in awe. Like, I was like, wow, I can't believe it. And I feel like all the events, like the back to school, the Thanksgiving, Christmas, it's just like it's happening, but I'm not realizing like what's happening. Like,
because you're so caught up in the moment.
Yeah, and it's not until I just look back and I'm like, wow, this is insane.
So describe that feeling when you're caught up in that moment, like how it feels. Like I like to feel what you feel in that moment because
it feels like you're thirsty. Like you've been thirsty. Like you're like when you thirsty, like I'm swaff. Like you're thirsty. And you get that cold Gatorade, and you know how it cools like your whole entire body is like. That's what it feels like.
That's fire.
That's what it feels like. So, and that's how I know I'm supposed to be doing what I'm doing. Because even when I want to quit, I'm like, man, I ain't doing this no more. Like, I'm good, bro.
I find it that when you walk in your purpose and you have that feeling, many times the enemy tries to come in and distract you or cause you to do things where you're not supposed to be doing. Because you have that feeling, and you don't want to lose that feeling or get detached from it, you're like, nah, I can't do this, because if I do this, I know I'm gonna be away from that.
Right.
So, and that leads me to my next question, because you said you do a lot of these things. You have VN Company, your MC, you have 9-5. Like, how do you manage all these things and not feel like your attention is split?
I feel like knowing the end goal. So it's like, yeah, I'm at 9 to 5, but it's only because I gotta do what I gotta do in order to be able to do this next thing. And I have to do this next thing in order to do this next thing. So everything works together.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like that's what keeps me going, because every single day I wake up, I go to work, and I'm like, I'm quitting my job. Like, I'm gonna quit.
Hey,
like,
I might need to cut that out. I don't want them to see
I'm
it. I'm
leaving you guys. I love y'all, but I gotta go. But in due time.
In due time.
So.
That's fire.
But I love my job. I love it. Like, I work with kids. Like, I love my job. But it's just, sometimes you have to take that risk. You have to be willing to take that risk. So, and I'm just confident that even if it's the wrong choice, the Lord will guide me.
I mean, yeah, even if it's the wrong choice, I feel like at the end of the day, nothing happens. Nothing, like, everything has a reason for it. Like, you're gonna learn a lesson from it. Like, I used to be a realtor, right? And the reason why I say I used to be a realtor is because my thought process for wanting to be a realtor was to learn how to invest in real estate. But I learned very quick that was the wrong choice to make. But it was the best choice for me at that time without even knowing, because me being a realtor and the environment being so conducive, it taught me and helped me to build the habits, the mindset to become an entrepreneur, to create the schedules, to build the routine. So now when it's time for me to take real estate investing at full force, within 4 months, I got my first investment property. I partnered with investors. But I wouldn't have gotten there if I didn't make the wrong decision, so I can then make the right decision.
Right.
Because like you said, once you have the end goal in mind, you're always going to readjust to be fixated on that end goal in mind. But many times people try to move forward in life, but they don't have their end goal in mind. What helped you find that end goal in mind, like that vision that you follow? So despite the wrong decision, despite this, you realign yourself to stay committed to that path and stay under that vision.
Jesus, Devontae Christ.
Why you said Jesus, Devontae Christ?
Because you have to feel me on this one. Like,
elaborate. I'm trying to understand.
Jesus Christ, okay? Like,
Jesus, Devontae
Christ. Because you gotta know that God, like, God is whoever you're gonna need him to be at every step in your life. So for me, God is like, hello, this is what you need to be. Like, hello, don't forget this. So I feel like with God, by his grace and favor, constantly giving me vision, showing me, hey, this is, and even just me personally, like, I know where I want to be in life. It's not just my imagination. It's not by chance that I want certain things or I want to hit certain goals. So it's like I can't ignore it. So it's like every day you wake up like, this thing is in the back of your mind. And even if it's your conscious, you have to ask, why is it in my conscious? Like, why is this thing here? Like, why do I feel this way when I go to these events? Or, like, why does my mind go here? Like, why? Because I'm supposed to be there.
Yeah. And many times you don't even question that.
Right.
So was it always easy carrying that type of faith or building it up to that point?
No, not at all. I feel like everything is a journey. Everything is a process. So, some days you're going to be on top of the world, right? And some days you're going to be below the line. You're going to be at the bottom. But every day, Jesus Christ.
So what helped you build that faith? Was it your church? Was it just God naturally guiding you?
Yeah, I think God, church,
mentor?
Community, You know, I feel like those things are very important. People don't really, you know, especially nowadays. Like I feel like with social media and with a lot of access that we have, like we try to downplay like community and having a good support system and having mentors, you know, having people that are doing, you know, better than you and being in certain rooms. Like I feel like that is downplayed a lot because everybody feel like they can do it by themselves. And I just feel like church definitely they play a role every week. Like every week when I'm about to be done, like my pastor be like, girl, stop playing. Like I go to church and then he preached the word and it's like, come on, man. I'm like, man, come on, get up, girl, get up. Like, you know.
People gotta find their church, man.
You need a church, you need a good church, and just stand true to, you know, myself, stand true to what you believe in. And just
So I still remember the most impactful message that I got from my church. What was yours? Like, what was that message? I was like, it hit you in the heart, it cut you deep, and caused you to really change your life.
Matthew 6. One day my pastor preached on being prosperous as a believer, and he used Matthew chapter 6 verse 33. But first seek ye the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and everything else shall be added unto you. And Proverbs, can't remember the exact scripture reference, but beloved, I wish above all things that you would prosper and be in good health, even as you prosper. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but he preached on them two scriptures right there. And it was like a light bulb. Like a light bulb lit up. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I can take over the world. Not like that, but it was just, it was just so much. Like, I was like, wow. Are you serious? I was like, I wasted all my life, like, just feeling bad because I wanted to make it. You know, like, feeling bad because I'm like, I have certain things people don't have, or, you know, just like, you know, just feeling crazy.
It's like almost like imposter syndrome, right?
Right.
Well, is it imposter syndrome? Because I think imposter syndrome is when you feel you're not good enough to be where you are right now, but you felt as if you shouldn't go where you want to be.
Something like that. Or maybe false humility. I don't know.
Yeah.
But after that message, I was like, oh no, I gotta hit every goal I have for myself, because
Amen.
What I realized is that I didn't put these goals in me. Like I didn't put these, like I don't even know why I'm here. Like why am I here? How I got here? Like you ever thought about how you got here and then your head starts to hurt? It's like, okay, all right. It's like, okay, I'm doing too much. Let me calm down. But it's true. Like, why am I here? Like, what am I supposed to be doing here? Like, it's not to live a regular life. Like, not, you know, like, what am I doing? Like, no. And hey, if the power that raised Jesus Christ from the dead lives in me and us, come on, we got work to do. Let's go. Like, who's supposed to be in these rooms? Like, who's supposed to reach the masses? Like, who, like, you feel me? Like, come on, no. Let's go.
I like to say reach the masses because my spiritual father talked to my, you know, the group that I'm in. Like, it's crazy how us four, we all found church together. We all found Christ together. And he said, people like us is supposed to reach people that he can't reach.
Right.
So what are you, how am I going to formulate this? Like, you're supposed to reach all these people. You're supposed to guide all these people into doing all these things. And you mentioned in the verse, you know, be righteous, be prosperous. How is it, what are the things that you've seen, or what advice can you give to continue to chase and be prosperous, but to still be righteous and to not fall into pride or boastfulness and things like that? Because that can cause you to switch your vision, switch your mission, and to go down an entirely different path.
Right. So I feel like one, of course, is having a real relationship with Jesus, like not like religious, not like, you know.
So what is a real relationship? Because you said religious and relationship, don't like. What
so relationship, like, you know, it's not one-sided. You get it? Like a lot of times people go to church, it's just one-sided. Like they do the routine, but it's like they don't wait for God to speak, or they only go to God when they need something. Like, no, it's a relationship. Like Jesus is your friend. Like you can talk to him like, God, I don't know what to do, or God, I'm angry. I'm sad. Like it's a real relationship. Like spend time. Like it's like, how do you grow a natural relationship? You check in, you spend time, you make sacrifices. You listen, you receive. Like, it's a relationship. Like, bring Jesus within. Like, don't leave him without. So I feel like that's number one. And then number two, study. You study your word. Like, you're going to Bible study, or even if you can't make it to Bible study, because, everybody's different, but you have, like, a healthy relationship with the Bible. Like, because it's like, what's our guide? Like, I'm not going by my standards, because hello, flesh, please. Hey. Like we all be crazy. Like, so what's the guide? The Bible. That's what we have. So, that's the rule book. So it's not gonna be peaches and cream, but I feel like once you have a relationship, day by day, like the Lord will lead you, he will guide you, he'll correct you, like you I don't know for everybody, but you have that, like, like when you're not supposed to be doing something, or like, what do you mean? If you like, I don't know, like it's like a feeling, like, okay, maybe I gotta chill, like, or maybe I overdid it, like, and I feel like,
put it into context so people can picture like that time. Like, give us a time where you thought that and you had to repivot.
Let me see, what can I say? For example, like, maybe it was like not forgiving someone, right? So even though somebody did something to you that was worth, not the forgiveness, because not the unforgiveness, because we're supposed to forgive, right? But maybe they did something to you that was worth you getting upset over, right? So it's like, I'm not talking to this person. I don't care. Like, I know I'm supposed to make it right, but I don't want to. Like, I'm not making it right. I don't care.
But you realize you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's like, bruh, like, okay, how you love me and you don't love your brother? So, it's like, but sometimes, we just want to be ourselves. I'm like, I'm not talking to them. I don't care. I'm not talking to them. Nope.
It be like that. I left my friend group because of that, bro. Because I was mad, I was irritated, but then I had to realize that's not being righteous. And how can I be prosperous if I'm not living in to everything the word says you gotta live?
That's what I'm saying.
And it's easy,
Facts. Bro. And it's to show that we're human and we need God. We need God, like, every step of the way. Like, we need God. So I feel like real relationship, real results.
Yeah, you are funny, man.
Real relationship, real results. That's it.
So I like to end things off by, asking you or the guests, what is one thing that you want to make sure people watching, people listening, know and understand? It could be something you said already, or it could be something completely different. That would be your number one advice that trumps all.
Number one advice is, there's nobody on this planet like you. No one like you. Like, it may be a lot of dupes, but you're the original. So go and be great. Serve Jesus and live life. That's it.
So, serving Jesus, living life, you have a lot of life that you're putting out. Like, what is the best way for somebody to connect with you, or how would you want somebody to connect with you to push your vision out forward, so you can continue to impact these kids, these people, and these creators?
Follow me on Instagram _VBoss. Follow me on social media. And, when the flyers do come out for calls to serve or action to serve, come to the events. Come, let's talk, let's connect. You never know. Send me an email. Like, anything could happen at any time. Like, you never know who's the connector. You never know what might happen. So hit me up. Like,
So you mentioned, you said cost to serve. You mean like when people want you to serve, or like what do you mean? Like when you post things to serve?
Yeah, when I post things, like for example, for the Thanksgiving drive, like it's gonna happen on November 23rd. Yeah, like so come out. Like if you have the time, come out. You know, come out, let's connect, let's meet. Invite me places. I'll go.
Okay.
If I can. If I can go, I'll go, because I feel like we need each other like a lot. Like I love networking. I love meeting new people, and you never know. Like everything I feel like is a relationship.
Yeah.
Like sometimes money cannot get you to where you think it can get you. What you have probably can't. Like you never know, but knowing that right person, you know, at the right time, like it's all about who you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, I heard it. You gotta know the right people. You gotta lock it in. At the end of the day, my name is Olivia J. Darcis. I'm with V, the boss, the truth, entrepreneur, the creator, you name it. We're here helping you do the do to do life well. Peace. That was fire.
Whew, thank you, Lord.
I'm gonna leave that in there. I'm gonna leave that in. Hey, wait, if you like this episode, make sure to check out similar ones like this. I don't know which side it's going to be on, but you pretty much get the idea. And if this episode helped you think better, perform on a higher level, and, you know, be a little more confident, make sure you share this video with somebody that might need it, that might need that extra boost, you know, and also hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, because I want to continue to see the impact that this platform, this podcast is having on the entire world. So make sure you check it out. Peace.